I was preparing a post about the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus. Then I found some difficulties in putting all 4 Gospels together to reconstruct the event. I realized that this was just the tip of the iceberg. That Easter morning was a very busy one, with stones rolling away, angels appearing, and people coming back and forth from the town to the tomb. Gospels are like my wife. Sometimes she says, "Mommy is coming to stay with us for a month." Then, as soon as she finishes talking, the bell is ringing. Mommy is at the door. Then I say, "Darling, did you lie to me? You said she was coming. She is already here." But she answers, "No, when I was telling you she was coming upstairs." It was the truth. Then I open the door and the whole family, more than 10 relatives, come in. So, later we are having an argument and I say, "Darling, you lied to me. You say it was only Mommy." And she answers, "Not at all. I said that Mommy was coming, and here she is. I didn't lie." So, back to the resurrection, after reading all 4 Gospels, it was like putting together my wife's 4 last shopping session accounts and my bank statement. So I started with some presuppositions. All 4 accounts tell the truth. Things are confusing. Verses 9 to 20 of Mark 16 are not from the original account. Disciples and the women were in the upper room. From the upper room to the tomb is 10 minutes walk and 7 minutes running. Women left the upper room at 5 a.m., hypothetically. I can be wrong. If yes, please let me know. T is Saturday night before Easter, probably on April 33 AD. Jesus is dead. His body is wrapped in clothes and stripes. He is buried in a tomb near the place called the Skull in Jerusalem, where he was crucified. The tomb is sealed and guarded by Roman guards. They have orders from Pilate to watch the tomb because those crazy disciples want to steal the body and say that he is risen. They were crazy enough to follow an out-of-mind carpenter claiming to be God. They also had a thing with woodwork. The disciples are in the upper room where a few hours earlier they had the Last Supper with him. But now Jesus is dead, it's game over. They thought he was the Messiah. They thought he would have set Israel free from the Romans. They thought he was going to finish putting up the new furniture for the upper room. And here they are, bewildered, scared, hidden, and locked indoors. They have abandoned him. Peter has denied him 3 times. John has seen him dying. They don't know what to do. Jewish leaders are going to search for them. Jewish leaders are going to chase them on the street. Jewish leaders are going to get them arrested. Jewish leaders are going to put them in prison. Jewish leaders are going to have them killed, or worse. Jewish leaders are going to confiscate their furniture. Maybe Peter, James, and John can go fishing again. Maybe Matthew could start an accountancy business. Maybe they may set up a woodshop. They remember looking at each other after one of his parables. What did he mean? They usually didn't get half of his words. Peter and James had been remembering that time Jesus was out of bread, and he wanted to feed 5,000. John had forgotten the bread, and Judas the business card. So Jesus had to make that bread all alone. Then Pharisees were trying to scam him with some bad yeast deal. But nobody scams Jesus. Stay away from that deal. He had said to the disciples. He was a weird guy, but he did so many miracles. They had seen the blind come back to see, paralytics get up and walk, dead come back to life. Who would have thought it would end like this? This seems like a big failure. But disciples don't know that something big is going to happen. On the early Easter morning, Jesus is risen, his body disappears, wraps and clothes fall on the floor. 2 angels are coming from heaven. One of them appears in front of the guards and rolls the stone away from the tomb. The earth shakes. The guards are irritated by the noise. One of them says, "Hey, I'm trying to have a nap here." Another quickly hides, gets all the coins on the table because they were playing poker. But wait, they see the angel. One of them thinks he is on candid camera. No, it's not. The guards are now frozen. Then the angel disappears. When the shock fades away and after a change of underwear, they walk inside the tomb. It's empty, the body is gone. This is bad for them. How'll they explain that? They are going to be killed. What will they do now? One of them suggests to report this to Pilate. No. This is the worst idea ever. He'll kill them, he won't believe that. It's better to go to the chief priests. They have more influence. They'll protect them. One of them suggests an escape to Mexico. That's a good idea. The problem is that they haven't discovered it yet. The disciples and the women spent the night in the upper room. No one is sleeping. They have to finish anointing Jesus. They have to do that for him. But the disciples are too scared. They are not going out there. Not until things calm down. How can they be so selfish? This is a task for the women. They leave the house and ask each other that stone is so heavy. Who will help us to roll it away? Some of them think that it's so sad that disciples aren't brave enough to go and say goodbye to their friend and leader. The women are scared, but they won't let the fear stop them. Sometimes women are braver than men, except for catching rats. Some minutes later the guards have left the tomb, and they are knocking at the chief priest's doors. In some hours they are going to accept a bribe and lie about the event. The other option is to be killed, so the money is not so bad for them. Chief priests are very worried. If the resurrection news leaks, they are going to lose their jobs. Maybe the Roman government may offer them an early retirement plan. The good news is that they won't need to wear those funny hats. One of them suggests a karaoke party to relax from the stress. They are going to lose their job and then slide on a banana peel. One each. In 10 minutes the women are in front of the tomb. They say, "Thanks God. The tomb is open, we don't have to roll the stone anymore." Wait. Who rolled the stone away? They go inside. This is creepy. The body is gone, and the stripes are there on the floor. They think someone has taken the body. But if this is the case, why did they remove the wrappings? If it was today, we may think of a psycho, but at that time it was really improbable. Magdalene is the women's leader. She is going to tell it to the disciples. Some women are following her there. But this is a mystery. Where is the body? So some women are staying at the tomb, looking around for details. As soon as Magdalene has left the tomb, 2 angels appear to the rest of the women. One of them is saying Jesus is risen as he promised. Jesus is waiting for all the disciples, the 12 and all the others, in Galilee in a place he has talked about last time. Jesus is very careful to convey that message to them. They have to go to that specific place in Galilee. He repeats it more than once, both personally and through the angels, as he knows they are a little bit slow and tend to forget the important things. Some women are scared, run away, and won't tell anyone what happened. Others have got the message. They are bewildered, scared, but full of joy at the same time. They hurry to the disciples to tell them the news. While Magdalene's group is reaching the upper room, Jesus appears to the other group. It's true. Jesus is risen, and they are talking with him and touching him. He is in the flesh. They fall at his feet and worship him. He is God. He proved it. Magdalene and her group are now in the upper room and telling the disciples. They couldn't see the angels either. Jesus. The tomb is empty. Someone has moved the body away. Peter decides he wants to see it. He wins his fear and runs towards the tomb. John is after him, but he quickly overruns the old man. Peter is not so young anymore. He has to stop eating junk food. Magdalene is following them alone. The other women are staying in the room. There's so much to chat about. Some of them are imitating and making fun of the disciples. They slide on a banana peel. One each. As soon as they have left, the other women arrive in the house. They are talking nonsense. They are saying they saw angels and Jesus risen. But they are so excited that no one understands a word from them. Peter and John arrive at the tomb and check it. John suddenly remembers Jesus' words. He has risen. John believes it now. They come back to the house. Magdalene is at the tomb. She is so sad that she doesn't want to enter again. Why did they take Jesus? Where did they put his body? Was it perhaps the gardener? Maybe he wanted to make a landscaping inside the tomb. Maybe he was out of compost. No. That's horrible. What kind of psycho is doing that? She knows it has been the gardener. He is very obnoxious. When you have a homicide case in an eclectic billionaire storm-isolated mansion, it is the butler. But when you have a missing body from a carved-out-of-stone sepulcher, it certainly is the gardener. She noticed he was behaving very strangely when they buried Jesus. This gardener is a weirdo. So she stays outside the tomb. She bursts into tears. Why doesn't the gardener give her body back? Where did he put it? Maybe in the tool shed? But wait. There are 2 angels in the tomb. She hears a voice. It's the gardener. Magdalene is ready to corner him. She'll make him talk by hook or by crook. But no, it's not the gardener. It's Jesus. She is talking with the risen Jesus. Those are probably the best moments in her life. except for a slight guilt towards the gardener. In half an hour, she is also back with the others, telling them what happened. A few hours later, Jesus appears to Simon, and then to the two on the road to Emmaus. Finally, he appears in the upper room when everyone is present, except for Thomas. They cannot believe their eyes, so they touch him, and then he also eats a fish and chips in front of them. So this is how it went in my opinion, except for the jokes. Jesus has risen for truth. And in the next post, I'll show some historical evidence. These things really happened.
SaveBlog.com